Well, we've got heat and storms building into much of the central and eastern part of the country. A heat dome bouncing around here, creating some hot temperatures and lots of rain in some places. So a whole slew of heat-related advisories, watches, warnings. In orange, we've got the heat advisories for a lot of the south, all the way up to South Dakota. Some excessive heat warnings and excessive heat watches into Illinois. And kind of surrounding that, a few flood watches out there. We're going to see quite a bit of rainfall in parts of the north central U.S. We've got a heat dome bouncing around the central and eastern part of the country, and places on the northern and western edge we'll see some pretty active weather here in the northern plains and upper Midwest. But triple-digit highs in the central plains, Kansas today, hot all through the south. That heat kind of shifting east as we head into the middle and latter part of the week. But pay attention to these places like the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, on the northern edge of the heat. Those are areas that are going to see frequent storm chances and potentially quite a bit of rainfall adding up. We're also seeing air quality issues from Minnesota all the way into upstate New York and Pennsylvania. And this air is actually moving west and northwestward because we've got high pressure sitting over Lake Superior, pushing that smoke around. So smoke that went through some areas last week kind of being pushed back westward, and two high pressures combined are really opening up the Gulf of Mexico too. Moisture in the lower levels streaming all the way into Canada, and will do so much of the week this week. So that means some very humid air is going to arrive into the northern plains and help to generate some storms here. Several upper level disturbances all riding the edge of the center of the heat dome, the upper level high, which is in the south right now. But all those little X's are these upper level disturbances, little pools of cool air aloft that move quickly and just are enough to generate thunderstorm chances, especially when we see these low level winds at night accelerate. And really it's going to be the plains, the southwest into the plains and northern plains here that will continue to see these thunderstorm chances. So riding the edge, the thermal ridge we call it, the temperatures at 4,000 feet above the ground here, and those winds, low level winds, that low level jet that accelerates at night here as it kind of gets separated from the ground, the friction layer, and that low level jet stream helps to spawn these overnight storms that could really add up. Look at this swath of 4+ inches of rain here, potentially in parts of the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, UP, Michigan, and then meanwhile, quite a bit of rainfall, of course, in the deep south too. So the excessive rainfall risk today is in Tennessee and Kentucky, but then that'll shift to these areas on the northern side of that heat dome, North Dakota into Minnesota tomorrow, and then over Lake Superior in Wisconsin, UP, Michigan here as we head into Wednesday. And also a severe risk in those same areas, slight risk of severe weather. The main threats with these systems that develop at night, these MCSs or MCCs, is some high wind gusts, these squall line type storms. So you can see a scattering of these severe wind gusts in some of those storms that develop at night. We get these bow echoes or derechos that can produce some long lasting wind gusts in addition to large hail. Can't ever rule out a tornado, but these storms are in particular notorious for those high wind gusts that can persist for hours across a couple states.